Hello guys, my name is Anna and I'm from Ukraine, and Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. In my daily vlogs I try to update you on the real life situation in my country, and I'm really grateful for the support that you demonstrate. If you're new to the channel and will like this video, do subscribe, because the world needs to know more about Ukraine and this awful situation that Russia caused to the world in global. And today I wanted to stay positive, but there are things that happen during this Christmas time that cannot keep me neutral. Russian orcs demonstrated that they are Russian orcs, and they shelled Kherson in a very severe and violent manner. Honestly, many people here in Ukraine celebrated another anniversary, and that is 100,000 dead orcs on the territory of Ukraine, those invaders who came to take our land but actually joined the land itself and now are in Ukrainian soil, because Russians are so bad they don't even care about the wounded and the dead, and many of them really stay lying on these battlefields, and it is the task of Ukrainian volunteers to save them or to bury them. I'm not a kind of a person to celebrate that, and my dream is like no Russian orcs, dead or alive, on the territory of Ukraine. That's the best option. Honestly, when you ask me what will happen after we win, would I like these prisoners of war, Russian prisoners of war, to work for us to rebuild and restore? No. I wish it to be done with the people who love Ukraine, like Ukrainians, volunteers, I don't know, anybody else, but not Russians. For me, Russians are people that I don't want to see in my life, even 50 years later, after they, I don't know, are cured and sorry. Like, I know there are many nationalities that perhaps I will never meet in my life, and these are positive people, so please forgive me if I don't want to meet negative people. And the story that I want to share with you is an example of, I don't know, this pure evil that also exists on the planet, and perhaps it is needed to demonstrate the contrast between the light and good that people are able to create. And that was on the 24th of December, and Russians shelled Kherson, a city that was recently liberated, and it's a very symbolic regional center in Ukraine, and I'm really happy in general that it returned back to Ukraine, but it is a very hot zone still, and Russians, they are very violent and negative, and this hatred is very typical for them. Like, if they can't take you, they want to destroy your life, destroy your normality. And on example of Kherson, they actually demonstrate their attitude to Ukraine in general. When they have realized, and I'm sure they had, that they cannot take over the country, they start ruining our infrastructure, our roads, our power stations, our electricity system, our water supply, just to cause as many casualties, as many problems as they can. And this demonstrates their devil, dark manner. And even if you're not a religious person, look at Russians, and that's the way I see hell personally, and the representatives of hell in action. So just as with Ukraine, Kherson can be an illustration. They cannot take the city back, they had to retreat from Kherson, they did not know how to explain it, but they still tried to terrorize people who live there. So on the 24th of December, just the eve of Christmas, a very festive and important day all over the world, they shelled Kherson and caused 10 deaths among civilians. 58 or more were wounded, and many of them were severely wounded. So the number of people endangered by this attack can grow, but I wish it didn't. And they caused destruction in a sleeping district. I don't know if it's correct to say so in English, but in Ukrainian we do use such a description. Sleeping districts are those where mainly people come and live, like not where they work, not where there are many offices. So they have destroyed 6 cars, and it seems to me that some people burned alive in their cars. They destroyed the houses, like where people live, a trading center and a market. And it all happened at 11 in the morning on the 24th of December, when so many people go out for Christmas shopping. And you know that many people in Ukraine this year celebrated Christmas on the 25th of December together with the rest of the world. And it's pretty logical, and our questionnaires that we have in our electronic applications like DIA demonstrate that 60 or more % of people support the idea of switching this date from the 7th of January to the 25th. So what orgs did, they killed people on Christmas. And I think even those who doubt what is wrong with Russia now have to see that Russians, Putin, they now represent everything dark, everything violent, everything evil that exists on the planet, and perhaps they are sent as a lesson because we've got used to this normalcy, to being like tolerant to each other, or at least like neutral to each other. But they demonstrate that this evil that we have read in religious books and so on, that they actually that it actually exists. And also I remember one of the photos that was shared on my Facebook, I come across and I decided not to share it because it looks very depressive, but that is a picture of one of the churches in Bakhmut, which was destroyed, of course, by Russian orcs, and it was a small sculpture of Maria and Jesus, and they were lying they were not destroyed, but the church was destroyed and the sculpture was lying on the floor. And that is all we have to know about Russians, because even in those films about the First World War, very often people kept low profiles and did not fight and did not shell each other on Christmas, because even if you're not religious, this is a special time valued and loved by so many people all over the world. And Russians demonstrate, they don't care about anything, and they are terrorists. And terrorists, we cannot make compromises with them, we cannot negotiate, because they grew angrier, stronger, and continue spoiling life to the planet in global. That's why I'm really grateful for the unity that I feel, for your reactions on, for example, Zelensky's visit to the United States, the stories that you share about Ukrainians who have found new homes in your countries. I'm really grateful for that. If you haven't seen our new video about Ukrainian Christmas tradition and Ukrainian festive food, go check the channel, because I know Christmas is not the time to spend on YouTube, but now maybe you will find something interesting. Thank you for your wishes, thank you for being with Ukrainians, and we love you all very much. Thank you for buying me coffees, for becoming my patrons, and most importantly, thank you for supporting Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!